She's not your servant. I'm sorry. She's not there just to clean your house, man. I mean, I know that's a personal blow to you. On the inside. You ain't never gonna be the same again. You thought you was gonna get a maid. You ain't never had to wash dishes again as long as you was working that job.
Welcome
to the J&O Show.
We talk about
things that we were never told. I'm Jay,
and I'm O.
And now you know.
All right.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey.
We are back with another one. Recently, we just did a video on this clip.
I will give you the most amazing man. He will tap into all your needs. He will make sure you are protected, never cheat on you. All you need to do is be submissive to him. 90% of women will sign up right away.
What does submissive mean?
Submissive meaning in allowing him to lead in a relationship. Well, let me say this. Because I think when people hear submission, they do think of dictatorship.
Right.
They think of doing as he says. They're thinking of this
His
power
way or the
struggle.
highway.
Yes. Submission, in my eyes, when it comes to relationship, is one, allowing that man to love you. What I mean by that is this. When a man is truly in love with a woman, he wants to do for her. He wants to provide for her. He wants to make sure she's good. If you don't submit to that, you're going to be in this energy that's, I got it. I can take care of it. It's not letting him love you. And in not letting him love you, you're carrying this unnecessary burden that's wearing you down.
And we also reacted to this clip.
It's like, we equals, ain't I? You're both there to serve. You are in the service industry, okay? You're in a band. And when you're in a band, you have roles that you play in the band. Sometimes you sing lead, and sometimes you're on tambourine. And if you're on tambourine, play it right. Play it with a fucking smile. Because nobody wants to see a mad tambourine player.
So we did a video on those two.
Yes.
And one of our OGs, one of the original gangsters of the channel, you know what I'm saying? One of the people who sit and they break bread with the Godfather. I'm not the Godfather, that's not it. Anyway, I be trying the whole voice impersonation thing. I just really suck at it, but it's fun, so I'm gonna do it. Anyway, so she left a great comment talking about submission, and she was like, should we just stop use the word? Because what submission really means, in opposition to what they were saying, it does mean to give in to someone else who, is superior.
Damn.
To basically allow them to not just lead, but control.
He be like, shut the f***. I be quiet, but when he leave, I be talking again.
Right.
And she was like, we should just stop using the word because technically that's what submission is. And these videos lead you to believe that it's not really what submission means. And she's like, why don't we just stop using the word altogether? And she had a lot of other stuff to say, trust me. But that's what we want to focus on, because a lot of couples have issues with the power dynamic in their relationship. Yes. And a lot of people who want to be a couple, who want to get married, have this issue where they struggle with the power dynamic, especially with the new modern man and the modern woman, and then the traditional man and traditional woman and the hybrids and all of this other stuff that they got going on, left, right and left, all these different people coming up. And with social media, so many of these people are coming together and they're dating each other. So it looks like a hot mess.
Yes.
It looks like hot garbage out here. But the reason is because social media has connected us so much in a way we've never been connected. A lot of people usually don't ever leave their state. They don't ever leave a city. A lot of people definitely don't leave a country. Most of us, we ain't got no passport. We ain't been nowhere.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you just tend to date within people some kind, around in your community, somewhat sort of kind of, at least in your city. Don't be crazy all over the place. But that's changed, and folk is dating each other from all over the place. And it's a lot of mixing of ideologies. So now that there's some big power struggle going on in relationships. The United States was based on Judeo-Christian values.
Right.
That's what the country was really based. Now, what they did with that, it's a whole nother thing. Did we really follow the Bible? Hell no. That's a whole nother conversation. We just saying that's what they was saying, that they was believing it. And so a lot of these ideas about the dynamic and about submission even all comes from the Bible.
Yes.
And my wife over here especially, she like the Bible over here.
I do.
I appreciate the Bible myself.
Good old King James Version.
I appreciate the Bible myself. There was a verse that I wanted her to read first, and then we're going to go into what we discussed reading.
Okay.
So,
excuse my chair, y'all.
That's okay. This is like Aberrant Preacher's floor. It's going to be our chairs and their floor. We're going to be all right. Okay. So a lot of this came from the relationship between Adam and Eve.
Okay. This is Genesis chapter 3, y'all. King James Version, for those of you who want to know. Starting at verse.
You can do verse 16.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Why? Okay. Yeah. And sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
That.
Yes.
So that was one of the things. That's one of the verses that they be using to talk about how men should be the head of the house and women should submit. There's more, because that's Old Testament. In the New Testament, they had some more stuff that they're talking about. Now, over there, that's what Ephesians, Lord help me. Ephesians chapter 5, they speak about the relationship between a husband and wife. And a lot of people quote from here. And this is going to be very interesting to a lot of you ladies out there. And a lot of you guys are going to be real pissed off at us. You're welcome.
That's why it's good to just read things.
Just read for yourself.
Read the whole thing.
I'm gonna let y'all know we're gonna chop this up, but I want to give y'all certain parts. But she's gonna read pretty much the whole thing.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go through and chop the pieces up.
Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Verse 24. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
That's the part that all of the guys like. They like that part. That's their favorite part. Go ahead.
Now, this for the guys. Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives.
You complete me. I love you.
Even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord the church. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and the two shall be one.
Remember, we are one unit, fighting with one goal.
Yep.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband. So why do we just go through reading all this, y'all?
The beginning and the end is what I really wanted to concentrate on, speaking on submission itself. Stephan sat here and said, women don't understand that they have to submit to a man because in submitting, this is how he shows how he what? Loves you. The stuff that a lot of people say come from here. As Steve Harvey would always say, a lot of the stuff they be telling y'all to do all comes from the Bible.
The best book you can read is the Bible.
It all comes from the Bible, man. All of this stuff they saying, all these motivational speeches and stuff, all this stuff to get your life together, the law of attraction and how to do relationships, especially in America, all of that is from the Bible, man. All you got to do is read the Bible. I took 1-2 verses. I maxed out them 2 verses and got all my...
But I memorized them 5 or 6 scriptures, and them 5 or 6 got me here today.
In the beginning of Ephesians 5, women do submit to men, allowing him to be the head of the situation. To their wives, they love them.
And they cherish and nourish them.
And they nourish them. They feed. She's not your servant. I'm sorry. She's not there just to clean your house, man. That's, I mean, I know that's a personal blow to you. On the inside, you ain't never gonna be the same again. You thought you was gonna get a maid. You ain't never had to wash dishes again as long as you was working that job. That's not what it's about.
Right.
There's a hierarchy and an expectation. There's a responsibility that comes with that role.
Yes.
It's just like when people have a certain responsibility in society, they have a higher level of expectation from them. We talk about police officers, and the reason why they have to be held accountable for every little thing they do is because they have more power. They have more responsibility. You have more access, but you have more responsibility that comes with it. And the ebb and flow of that relationship, the women are to respect the husbands and the husbands are to love the wives. There is supposed to be a give and take because you're trying to supply each other's needs. Just like Chris Rock said, you are now in the service industry. Yes, we have different jobs, especially if you do traditional. You know, men are going to be out there working and whatever, and the wife is going to take care of the house more. And in most of our societies, I think that most people are hybrids. Most people.
Nowadays, yeah.
If you're attached to the internet, you're automatically going to have some modernity in you. That's right. I learned a new word in that video and I'm saying it and I'm using it and I'm going to get the pronunciation right eventually. So I think everybody's going to have a little sense of modernity. For those who want to have a little bit more of the traditional side of it, like this is where a lot of that stuff comes from.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to gloss over the other stuff. You have to care enough about your wife to have a sense of respect for her too, and her opinion and her needs and her wants.
Yeah. And I was going to say, when you think about it, when we think about, especially nowadays, because there's so much talk about the manosphere and the modern woman and all this kind of stuff, when you think right down to the core of it, what are the things that women say that they need and men say that they need? It's always the same stuff.
Yeah.
And it's biblical. There's a reason why in the Bible it says wives reverence or respect your husband. And that's what men are looking for. They want you to respect them.
And a lot of these issues, especially in our community, the argument that's happening is not that the guys don't think that the women love them. You notice they don't say that.
No, it's always about the respect.
They
part.
say that they don't respect us, and they'd be like, of course the relationship is going to look different when they get with a Caucasian guy because they respect him because he was the conqueror.
Right.
They're going to respect him. They don't really have a choice, to be honest. You know, you go to the police station, they're going to believe him before they believe you. That's the mentality. Not everybody.
Right.
But they don't necessarily have the same amount of respect for a black man. Let's just call a spade a spade. Like, it's always going to be an issue. If you don't respect your man, the man that you choose, and that's the man you choose.
It's going to be hard for him to nourish and cherish you, to love you the way you need to be loved.
Yeah, because if he feels disrespected, he's not going to want to love you back.
Yeah, so.
If you're not giving her love, there's going to be issues because she might still respect you depending on the type of dude you are, but you're just going to have so many issues in your relationship. I know I talked a lot, but I wanted to bring this out just because that was one thing that I wanted to make sure was said about the whole thing surrounding submission and how the relationship looks in the house between the wife and the husband. Yeah. Because that's a big part of it. And a lot of people don't realize, I mean, a lot of people don't care either. But the reality is the source for a lot of the way we set up our society is biblical. Now, where it went after that, like I said earlier.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is the show by married people.
For married people.
And for people who want to be married.
Now, that was out of nowhere. We totally got that wrong. It sounded good, didn't it? That's right. That's how we know how to catch it.
Yes, but we hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that you can take something from it. All right, you can receive it, you know, get it in your spirit, your noggin, and use it to help you better yourself.
All right.
There we go. I'm sorry, y'all. It's late.
It's okay. Yeah, it's late. It's all good. We about to go to bed after this. So I hope that helped you guys get a little bit of perspective on the whole submission thing and how that looks in a relationship. We didn't get super detailed, but we just wanted to give y'all the basis of where it came from, and that'll give you a way to look at relationships, and maybe you'll think about it differently, and maybe you'll be like, I already knew that, but we just said it again, and it's all right.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Comment down below if you have any ideas that spawned from this.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Exactly.
Who knows? We might drop an episode based on your response.
Because we do that over here
all the time. We appreciate you guys. We love the interaction. That's what we're here for, because we are looking to build a community so that way we can have better relationships, to build better families, so we can have stronger communities.
Yes.
All right, but that's going to do it for today. Peace.
Peace.
Press the out button.